episode, we're talking all about getting things done, and that's or GTD is an acronym for self-management productivity type tool, which has been around for a while now. It's been around for around 20 years, and the idea is if you follow this system, you'll be able to get a massive amount of work done and be able to be the kind of best version of yourself. The tool is really incredible. I have used it before. I've used a lot of tools, and I've gone on and off different productivity tools in terms of how I can get more stuff done. But before we get into it, Berserker Strength, thanks for joining in. Rishpal, Karthik, Baskin Robbins, thanks for joining in. Prince, thanks for joining in. So the idea behind the GTD system is, I don't have my whiteboard pen unfortunately today. I don't know where the kids put these things, but that's partly down to an organisation system, which is what this is all about. Now with GTD, the idea is principally, there's a few things to it, but principally one thing, that the first element is that you do a mind sweep. So every morning you take out 2 minutes and you just jot down all the things that come into your head. And the idea is that the head is a terrible system for trying to organise and remember and have reminders and have calendars. You can't fit every commitment that we have in a modern day life into your head. It's just not going to happen. So that's why you need systems to be able to back up when you forget about things. And I'm reading a book at the moment called You're Not As Smart As You Think, and it's a really fascinating thick book because there's something called confabulation, which is where you just make up things and you believe they're true. You really have this belief that that's exactly what happened, but actually it's not. It's just your brain filling in the gaps, and especially the longer the time that goes by, the more the brain will fill in gaps and you think things that happened which actually didn't happen. Matab, good to see you. PS, SJ Clothing, good to see you. Bye. Amrit Bar, good to see you. Aveline, good to see you as well. So in terms of confabulation, in terms of the brain filling in things and making up things that you think are true but didn't really happen and I think are true, this is a process which is evidence. We know this exists, we know this happens. If you can hear me okay, just smash the heart so I know that the audio is coming through okay. And if you can see me okay as well, just give me another heart so I can see some feedback to make sure everything is coming through before we get further into the topic. And the idea behind this is that when you record everything and it comes out of your head and it's come onto a system, and that system we'll talk about later, but when it comes out of your head onto a system, then you're much more likely to get that thing done, and the stress level is dramatically reduced, even though you haven't done it yet. So I think it was Lincoln who said, if you have an hour to chop down a tree, you want to spend like 59 minutes sharpening your saw and 1 minute actually trying to chop. Because planning and organisation, and everyone's heard, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, is kind of a fundamental part to being effective as an individual. And the busier you get, the more things you have on the go, and it might be your health, it might be your work, it might be family commitments, it might be if you have a house, like keeping things tidy, that kind of stuff. The more things you have on the go, Raj, good to see, the more work you have to do in order to make sure that you're on the ball with everything. There's insurances to pay, there's car stuff that you have to do periodically, and your brain simply cannot contain that volume of information effectively. And by trying to maintain it in your brain, trying to remember all of these things, what you end up doing is causing a lot of stress. And that's where we get people who get burnout. This is one of the potential reasons why people get burnout. The other thing that tends to happen is as soon as you start offloading these into some system, whether it's a personal assistant that you have, if you're lucky enough to have one of those, or it's some kind of organization tool, then you immediately feel less stressed because that loop isn't going on in your head again and again. Oh yeah, I need to do this. Oh yeah, I need to pay that person. Oh yeah, I need to send this off. As soon as it's down on paper, the brain can relax and think, okay, the job's half done because I've recorded it somewhere. So the first element of the system is to actually record. You've got to get things down, and that could be on a dictaphone, it could be on a piece of paper and a pen, which is what the system I find most effective because it eliminates the possibility of getting distracted. Recording things on your phone, although it's very handy because you've got it everywhere you go, the issue with that is that you can easily get distracted and think, okay, well, let me just check Instagram while I'm here, and then before you know it, you've lost time. And part of this system is just to avoid distractions. So that's the record element. The next element is to organize. So you can have different types of lists. So you might two lists that I recommend everyone has is, one is I call it P1 tasks. So if you type it in P1 on some of these management systems, it will prioritize it as a priority one. So P1 task is, let's say you can only do one thing today, and that's a good thing. That's a good kind of system or principle to have in your head. You wake up in the morning, you think, if I could only do one thing today, and if I got through the day and thought, and got to night, it's nighttime, and I'm lying in bed, and I think, that I'm really glad I did that one thing. What would that one thing be? Now, everyone has a lot to do, from a house perspective, from all these different types of perspectives, but there's usually one particular thing which is nagging on us. It might be an unpaid bill, it might be a project that you're going on, you might have somebody waiting on you for something with a clinic. I have people waiting on me for letters and that type of thing. So please pin this topic. Okay, what I'll do is I will all these videos are uploaded to YouTube, so you'll be able to watch them back on my channel. Just go into YouTube and search for Ask Habib, and the channel will come up, and it will be in recent videos. So this will all be about it'll probably be called something like self-management, or personal productivity, something like that. So the idea, but thanks for the comments, Suhani. So the idea is you first you recorded. Second element is to organize. Now, the two lists that I recommend everyone has is that one thing list, which is, what one thing do I need to get done today? So for me today, it was actually, I have a lot of one things, but for me today, it was actually, I need to rearrange some patients, because my family's gone to Scotland today. I'm missing them incredibly. I think I cried at the station when they left, but they've gone to a camp in Scotland, and I needed to focus on work, and I had kind of a week in Scotland, or a couple of days in Scotland, so I need to just get my head down and get on with work. So I wasn't able to go, and I miss them a lot. So that's why I was a bit out of action today, and I'm moving my patients from today to tomorrow. So that's my task to do today, because there's people waiting on me for me to give them information of when they can come, and they're in pain and that type of thing. So it's really important. So that's my one thing for today. What's your one thing today? So you can write in the comment box if you have one thing that you're going to commit to get done today, or you can just heart. So just give me a heart if you think of something that you need to get done before you go to sleep today. And that's a really good system, because there's so many things to do, and if you try to do everything, you're going to set yourself up for failure. But if you think, okay, well, what's the one thing I need to do? You get that thing done, then you get this sense of achievement, you get this dopamine hit, because you think, actually, that was a really difficult task, because it's usually the one thing is usually a difficult task. It's not something easy like put your socks on. And then you've done that one thing, and you think, oh yeah, you've got that sense of achievement, and it builds your self-confidence, and it builds your self-image, because you think, I'm a person who can get through things. So then after that, you think, okay, well, if you've got more time in the day, you think, okay, well, what's the next thing that I need to do? So for me, I need to transfer some payments over, because I got a new bank account. So so that'll be my next one thing. So then that really helps. And even if you only get one thing done in the day, as long as it's your one main thing, you'll feel happy. So that would be your first list. Second list is, I call it the 5-minute list, or 5-minute rule, I call it. You could call it most people call it a 2-minute list, or 2-minute rule. And the idea is, there's lots of tasks that you could do which would only take 2 minutes. And if you put them in that type of list, then you can basically, if you're in a queue, or if you're waiting for a train, that type of thing, or if you're parked up waiting for somebody to come out, like waiting for your kids to come out of school, then you've got 2 minutes. You think, okay, what's on my 2-minute list? And it could be, I need to update my payment information for Audible. Now that's something that's hanging on my head, but actually it would only take me 2 minutes to do. I could read through 10 messages on WhatsApp, because I get a lot of messages on WhatsApp, which is great. But it would only take me 2 minutes to read and reply to 10 messages, and so that's gonna, within those 2 minutes, I'm going to feel better, because I'm going to know I've got through some of the things I have to do. So that's it. Your second list, that's really important to have. So those are two lists that I would say definitely have. There's also, you can have other areas of your life, like home. There's things that I need to do in the garden, things that I need to do in the house, cupboards I need to fix, that type of thing. And then there's work stuff, and then there's things I need to do, family occasions. My nephew is getting engaged, not my nephew, my niece is getting engaged later this month, so I need to make sure that I'm available for that, and that I have a suit to wear, that type of thing, and I put it in the calendar so that I don't miss it. and books I'm working at the same time. So there's these types of things, and having a system will help you keep organized, and also make sure that you're effective. Because the worst thing is you think, oh no, I missed my this thing that I was meant to do. That's a horrible feeling. I've been there. So that's the system. Now, how do I record it? I use an app called Todoist. I think the app is about £40 for the year, I think. So it's a bit pricey, and I think they have a free function on there, but that's what I use. And a lot of the time I just go back to paper and pen, because I find if I use an app, then I end up getting distracted and wasting time. So paper and pen has historically worked best for me, and it would just be making a list and then putting an asterisk near the one thing that I have to do, smashing through that, and then the two-minute task is pretty easy. If I'm somewhere and I think, okay, this is only going to take a second, I can just cross those off and get that dopamine hit from getting organized and getting those things done and getting through that list. So that's the system that I use, or I try and implement. I've tried lots of different types of systems. I've read lots of books on time management, like Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog, which I think is the most popular book on time management. Getting Things Done, which is again another really popular system that most kind of a lot of CEOs and top executives use. So there's these types of systems out there to help us be more effective and manage our time better. So hopefully that added some value to you. If you know somebody who's could do with some better organization, let's just say, then do share this video with them. It will be live for 24 hours, and then it will be up on the YouTube channel. So love you all. Have a great rest of the Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow.